This is week 1 for trumpet players for the beginner band at FCA, Family Christian Academy. To start out your practice this week, we're going to work on what's called breathing exercises, and then we're going to work into reviewing your embouchure rubric that I know you've learned before, but we're going to review it, and then we'll have 1 or 2 exercises on the mouthpiece and the trumpet for you to practice this week. All right, so what we're going to start with first is what I want you to do in your practice is I want you to just kind of shake around a little bit. Do what we call a trunk twist. So you just kind of move him right and left just to loosen up the muscles in your body. Go ahead and move it up here a little bit. Go straight hands, just different directions to kind of get your body working and moving whenever you're practicing, okay? All right, after that, I want you to roll your shoulders both ways. Start with backwards first. Go forwards, just kind of getting the muscles more relaxed, okay? I want you to shake your hands, okay? Good. I want you to stretch your hands up here. I want you to take some deep breaths. And each time you take a deep breath, I want you to try to stretch a little bit higher. All right, now let's lean over now and take deep breaths. Each time you take a deep breath, try to get closer to the floor. All right. Just kind of get all that loosened up a little bit. Okay, we're going to do one more breathing exercise. Just remember when you're doing breathing exercises, if you have any problems with asthma or anything like that, any health issues, just be careful when you're doing it. And if you don't feel comfortable, make sure you stop. If you start feeling dizzy, just stop the whole exercises and just start breathing through your nose until everything returns to normal. So for this next one, it'll be a little bit more challenging. It's called in, sip, sip, out, push, push. So when I'm breathing in, my hands come up, and I'll breathe in 2 smaller sips of air, and then I'll blow out most of my air, and then blow out 2 more bits of air. So listen to the way I do it. So I'm trying to in, sip, sip, out, push, push. Try to take in a good amount of air. Make sure that when we're breathing, that the stomach is the one that's expanding, the diaphragm area here. Okay? So that's what you'll be doing for breathing practice. Do that before you start playing so that you can be prepared and actually get better sounds out of your instrument. All right? What we're going to go over now is the rubric for your embouchure. Just the checkpoint list that we've been talking about in class and that you've probably learned before last year. Okay, so obviously whenever we play our brass or woodwind or percussion instruments, we always want to sit tall or stand tall and keep our head erect. Okay, mouthpiece, thumb first and middle go on the mouthpiece. Remember, M-shaped lips, corners, bring the mouthpiece to you. Make sure it's slightly less than a right angle. You don't want it up here or here. You want it slightly lower because that's where the trumpet's going to be. Okay? And for you guys, if you already played last year, I want you to start the note with 2 instead of poo. Okay? And make sure you take a good breath of air that we just practiced. Blow fast air. Listen. 2. Ready? Okay? We're going to start trying to play a note on the D now. So this, if we were to play this note on the trumpet, it would be our E, 1 and 2. So we're going to go ahead and play it on the mouthpiece. Listen real closely. Try to mimic after you listen to it. 2, 3. Okay? As we have gotten our mouth buzzing, our lips buzzing to get used to playing the instrument, now we want to start moving around and doing what we call glissandos or sirens, where we're not just staying on the same note, but we're stretching how far, how high, and how low we're going. So listen to this. We're trying to see how high we can go and how low we can go, and start off getting a little bit higher, a little bit lower, a little bit higher, a little lower, a little higher, a little lower. So your goal is to keep stretching those muscles as you go higher and lower. So make sure that as we go higher, there's faster air, and as you go lower, it's a little bit slower air, but still think about moving the air forward. All right, and then the last thing I would like you to practice this week is the 3 notes that you'll have to do for the upcoming test. That's going to be your C, which is open, your D, which is 1 and 3, and you have to kick out the 3rd valve slide. Do not forget that. That will make the note wrong. Okay, I will take points off for that on the test. And then you have E, which is 1 and 2. Okay, so the way you'll play it for the upcoming test is you'll just play each note as a whole note with a measure of rest in between. One, two. Okay, so you're just practicing just like that. Your goal is to get the best sound possible. Make sure that you start every note with the tongue and that you take a great deep breath, just like we were practicing at the beginning. Practice this as many times as you can this week to be successful and to get better at your instrument. Hope you have some happy practicing.